A fox went walking there, and up there had something in its mouth. A couple of foxes here. Look at the college behind me. And I think I'm going to unapply to the job of dean there because I didn't like the last time I was here some days ago. Because a lady inside overheard me, so she said, "Oh yes, I want to say that, yeah, if you're the motorhome out there, yeah, you can't like sleep in the parking lot down there, because there's more shade starting pretty much midday down there in the big parking lot nobody uses. And they can tell me not to sleep there, it's fine, but she said, you have to leave by 8, because we're a community college, so anybody can come here, even if they're not staff or student at this time. But but when I leave later, which was around 6:30ish, there was a security guard already beside my vehicle, and somebody had called him in specifically for me, unless it was the other lady, but I think it was probably for me. And so I'm asking him questions. I said, well, I just talked to this other lady who said this, and she said she's security there, but there's also you guys that have the contract to patrol. And he said, oh, somebody very high up, and he kind of was hinting higher than her. So either there was bad communication at the college, or it was coordinated. Either way, it's bad. So, it's another college that is paranoid and certain of its paranoia being accurate about me being a bad person or something like that, whatever it might be. It's kind of... there's one time I did a vlog where I'm saying don't blame your life skills coach for things when you don't want to take free lessons from them. And this morning I was thinking of so many other scenarios where like the pool in Qualicum Beach, like the first time I ever talked to a staff there, even way before I did a visit to the pool, is I said, tell your boss, like I'd love to, for free, just give you guys workshops that'll help you on your job and in your lives. And and I end up being victimized by that culture, months later, and they never took lessons. So, like there's so many examples of, the lack of maturity and bravery and seriousness of living the life of a real human. People prefer just not becoming real, fully actualized humans with these big brains that they never want to go past a certain percentage. Scientists should study this, say, we only use this percent of our brain. And it turns out that it's by choice for these last hundreds, if not thousands of years, because we've grown lazy about self-actualizing. And now the devolution of our species, I tell you, with the kids that are born today, whether they're in great shape or not in great shape, physically, mentally, whatever way they might already be born with some form of disability or various disabilities, is they also have the disadvantage of what I talked about, being born in a non-human culture, but it's even worse now. They have the disadvantage of parents who won't know how to raise them in a way that'll help them self-actualize their potential for sentience and sapience, for humanity. Or the schools, or the medical professions, or the policies of politicians. So again, if there are extraterrestrials, they're probably just studying us and say, we've never seen this. We've never seen a species devolve this fast. And they might be kind of pursuing this even more and find out that, yes, they've been devolving since, let's say, their biosphere stabilized to be most optimum for them tens of thousands of years ago. Oh, as soon as I turned the camera, it looked away. It was looking at me, but then they became lazy, and they never became aware of the dangers of this, and it grew and it grew and it grew, and now they suffer from so many human domestication syndromes, and it's helped to devolve them to the point of not just their abilities to think, but their abilities to problem solve, their inabilities to connect to reality, to form social structures that could reverse this social anthropy, we could say. And we've never seen this. And if we, these extraterrestrials would say, if we visited other planets where it's happening so slow that unless you're specifically looking for it by doing a longitudinal study, you might not notice it. But now it's happening so fast on this planet that you know, like, we got to just study this. We've never seen this. And then, you know, when we go to other planets, and let's say we see real intelligent life there, we might decide to show data from Earth and say, look at this primate type species, land mammal. Of course, that's our terms, right? It wouldn't be this. The extraterrestrials would probably have different categories for not just life forms on this planet, but for categories that would fit the ones that ours would fit in other planets. So anyways, I wanted to go to the bathroom. Did I lock the door here? And not for the deer. I don't think the deer will try to get in. And hello, good morning. And I got to check to see if I'm going to go to a church that might be linked to the Salvation Army, so I got to ask for help to pay for the last few things, because I don't want to ask the Ministry of Poverty Creation, because it costs me more in expenses to deal with them than what I get back. So I'm going to go see if I can find the Salvation Army church and maybe try to have some social interactions. Again, I say I'm not religious. Then why are you here? Well, just like you, really. You might be religious, but you're still here. Not to connect to your God as much as to, you know, attempt to have social interactions that are rewarding. Do you guys look forward to Sundays because that's the time when you really connect with your God, or it's the time you have social interactions with like-minded people? Well, it's kind of the same for me. Now, I can't find like-minded people. That would be an Homo sapien. And an Homo sapien would be like-behaved, not just like-minded. But I also would like to talk to somebody about my situation. There might be funds other than the food bank stuff that has been all right so far. It's not big, like it doesn't last a long time if it's just 3 days a week. It's just pretty much have enough nourishment for a day, but only 3 days a week. There's probably other places I haven't tried, but I've decided I'm probably going to get the first rental I'm going to call if it's available, because I just need to rest. I'm going to be broke after that, but maybe I'll just have enough money if the church doesn't help to pay for spark plugs and ignition cables, and maybe it'll run great after that, but I won't have money for much fuel for the rest of the 4.5 weeks of this month's budget. So I'll have to walk a lot, which will be good for exercise, and I don't think I want to buy a used bicycle that I just somewhat like a little bit, and then be stuck trying to sell it or just giving it away. So it's either I buy a nice vehicle or I North Caribou Community Campus. It's a beautiful campus. I haven't explored the whole building inside, mostly used library and cafeteria spaces. It's a nice young woman in there is studying to become a particular profession that is one of the ones that they're doing here. And again, sharing her anxiety with me about different things, and it seems to be pretty common anxiety now. It's almost like 60% of this generation has it, and if they're focusing on just overcoming it in the sense of a career or school, well, that's not as much as they'll also need to do this kind of work for anxiety when it comes to fires near your city or village, and also food insecurities and gas stations that'll be running out of fuel more, and just people acting more and more weird without understanding why, when, let's say, things are still not as bad as they could be, and people are already acting weird in ways that most people don't understand. It'll be scary for people with anxiety. I still sense some anxiety within me sometimes, and it's an interesting phenomenon, and I can now manage it really quickly and but I can tell that a lot of my digestion issues stem originally from this.